Stephen Alff and welcome back to AlffBooks, and today we are here to do a top 5 tips that I would give you to get over writer's block. Last week I mentioned that I would be doing a Q&A. I would like to reiterate that I am looking for more questions, so if you would like to ask any questions, leave them down below. Just mention beside them that there are questions for the Q&A so they don't answer them in the comments already, and that would be great. What are these tips? Let's get down to it. So my first tip is to read. Reading is one of the best ways, I think, to engage your imagination into new worlds, new concepts, and things that you might have thought of, but that in these books have been thought of and written out and developed in one way or another. And that is something I think is very useful. If you are writing something, then if you read something that is either similar or completely different, it might actually give you the little idea that you need to be like, oh yeah, that way of writing it, or this from a different genre completely actually could be used differently or in a similar way in what I'm writing to get me to where I'm trying to go, and maybe it'll help you get out of the writer's block. The second tip that I would like to give you is one that I think is based off of the first one. So if you like a book, an idea, or something that is similar to what you write, or even completely different, well, based on the characters or world that those books are in, you could write fan fiction. Now, I think that by writing fan fiction, you have already a lot of things that are there for you. You have a world that is there, you have a character that is there and developed, and what you are doing then is working on what is already there and just going down another storyline. Or if the book has a story plot line that you would like to have followed if you'd been the author, then you can go down that line and see what would have happened. And I think it's a really interesting idea. Yes, it doesn't maybe directly seem to influence your main story that you might be working on, but it does affect your overall writing and the flow of imagination, which will, I think, eventually get you back into writing your own main story. My third tip is to reread what you wrote and possibly already edit. By rereading what you wrote, you get an idea of where there might be something missing or where you were trying to go and seeing if you actually get there. And by maybe tweaking a few small things, you will be able to eventually understand better, okay, this is where I am, this is clearer in my head, and it's clearer in what I've written. So am I still going down that way, or am I actually going to change it slightly so that I can avoid this other problem that was kind of blocking me? Or maybe that problem isn't a problem because you found a plot hole that solves the problem that you were trying to get over. My next tip is something I thought was really fun when I first did it. Take random words in a dictionary, in a book, anywhere, just random words. Write them down on a piece of paper and try to connect them with a story. So write a story where those words are used in it. I just think it could be really fun, and it is a way of getting you back into the imagination and back into trying to write a story. And as ridiculous as it might be, the 3 words that you choose might be in the same sentence, and that might be just the sentence that is a story. But it might be 10 pages long. Whatever it is, you have the possibility of doing whatever you want with those few words that you've decided on using. So give it a try. Write down 5-10 words and try to connect them with a story. My last tip for this video is to meet up with other writers. So if you're in a city, there is more than likely a writers group somewhere around, something that you can join and just talk with other people about what they're working on or what they're reading. And it really, really will get you into a kind of zone that will help you get along in your writing. I think that if you're meeting up with people, and like even if it gets you into talking about your own book, you'll see by their questions and by their ideas what is right, what might have some problems in the explanation, and it'll become clear in your head because you'll be thinking about those questions over the next while, because you'll be like, well, I wasn't able to answer that question, but that's a good point. I should probably think about that because that's maybe why I'm not getting further in this little part, or maybe that's why I'm not getting somewhere, but I'll get there because if I solve this question, I'll actually be able to get over this plot hole or this problem or whatever it is that I forgot or that I missed. That brings us to the end of these tips. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you think of these tips. If you have any other tips, because I'm sure that if a writer clicks on this video, they will see these and they will see your comments and they will see more tips, and maybe my tips won't be able to help you as a writer or someone else as a writer, but maybe in the comments down below there'll be a tip that someone will be able to say, I'll try that, and it might work for them, and they might write the next bestseller, your next favorite book. So go down below and write down whatever you think could be useful for writers, and let me know what you think of these ideas. Let me also know if you've tried any of these, and I will see you next week for a new video. I really hope you have a great week, and that's all from me. Bye.